Why is Rigathi Gachagua reluctant to quit Ruto's government? I'm asking that question because this evening, Rigathi Gachagua was at a televised live interview where he spilled some beans. And we are still working on a detailed analysis of that interview. But I want us to understand why Rigathi does not want to quit Ruto's government. From what Rigathi said this evening, it's very clear William Ruto is done with him. Ruto is just waiting for Rigathi to quit, failure to which William Ruto and his team might impeach him. But Rigathi appears to be reluctant. Why is he reluctant to quit? Before we answer that question, let's have a look on how Miguna Miguna has summarized the interview. Dr. Miguna Miguna. To summarize, Rigathi Gachagua said that Ruto is a dictator who makes all major decisions alone, that Ruto has betrayed Kenyans, especially Kikuyus, that Ruto is the one who pushed through the poisonous Finance Bill 2024, which Kenyans rejected, that Ruto is busy holding night meetings to impeach him, that Ruto doesn't consult, doesn't listen, and is hell-bent on pursuing personal agendas which don't serve public interests, that like Ruto before him, he will start campaigning soon. Miguna continues, authors note, the marriage is over. Even marriage counselors cannot rescue it. Ruto must go. That's how Miguna Miguna has summarized that televised Rigathi's interview. And that brings us to the big question, why is he not quitting? The first reason, Rigathi Gachagua is still optimistic that Ruto might change his mind and might embrace him once again. So he's just waiting, praying that God will intervene, Ruto might change his mind, and they might start working the way they used to work in the last 2 years. So I'm seeing a very disparate Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua is praying very hard for Ruto to change his mind. And should Ruto change his mind, Rigathi will embrace William Ruto and he'll become William Ruto's #1 sycophant. So Kenyans should be warned that Rigathi is rebelling. He's saying he's listening to the ground because William Ruto is not interested in him. Should William Ruto show interest, Rigathi will abandon the ground, he will embrace Ruto, and he'll become William Ruto's #1 sycophant. And he'll be the Rigathi Gachagua we used to see praising William Ruto, calling William Ruto Mfalme wetu. So he's rebelling because Ruto is not interested in him. And even that ground is because Ruto has abandoned him. Ruto has dumped him. The second reason, the post of a deputy president is too warm and too lucrative for Rigathi to leave. As a deputy president, Rigathi has power. He's being given a 24-hour security. There are benefits. Rigathi is not just willing to let that go. We all know he was just serving as a member of parliament. So from an MP to a deputy president, Rigathi cannot afford to leave all those goodies. So I'm seeing a person who is gaining personally as a deputy president and is not willing to let go of what he's currently enjoying as the deputy president. That's why he's not willing to go. The third reason, Rigathi has numerous corruption cases against him. If he resigns, those cases can easily be revived against him. We know that towards the elections, even the High Court had found him guilty, and he was told to refund some 200 million Kenya shillings. Upon Ruto and Rigathi coming to power, all those corruption cases were dropped. So Rigathi is not willing to resign because these cases will be revived against him. And he might even be blocked from ever occupying a public office. That's why he's not willing to resign. He's just making noise, but he can't bite the bullet to resign. Another reason, Rigathi is still not sure on how the ground will receive him. I've always maintained here that if Rigathi is impeached now, the mountain ground might even dump him. And I'm saying that because as a deputy president, he has power. Power do attracts. If he is impeached today, leaders will run away from him, and that can even make the ground run away from him. They'll see he's not closer to power. Any new leader will be appointed, maybe from the mountain, who will be a top leader, can easily sway the mountain. Right now, he seems to be enjoying some support because he's being seen as the senior most leader from the mountain. So the mountain rallies around him naturally. If that deputy president is taken away from him, he will lack that power. He won't attract. Rigathi is not very sure on how that ground will receive him. He has not yet matured into a position where he can dictate terms to the mountain. He's moving there, yes, but he's still not yet there. He needs some time to build himself politically. And this is why I've always maintained again here that if this political exchanges between Ruto and Rigathi continues, Rigathi is building himself politically. So by Ruto's team attacking Rigathi, they are building him politically. If Ruto's team impeaches Rigathi, they will kill Rigathi politically. And the impeachment should come as early as possible. It should not wait till 2027 or past 2027. If Ruto and his team waits till that time, they will not be able to stop Rigathi. In fact, Rigathi will embarrass them, just as Ruto did to Uhuru Kenyatta. So the impeachment has to be done today, as soon as possible. Another reason why Rigathi is not resigning, Rigathi thinks he's a co-president to Ruto. He thinks that they were elected together, that if he resigns, Ruto must also resign. So Rigathi thinks this is a shareholding government, that he has got shares in Kenya Kwanza government. So I think Rigathi's being a deputy president has gotten into his head, and that has made him think he is also a co-president. And today some of his allies speaking in Nairobi hinted to that if he resigns, Ruto must also go. Rigathi should know William Ruto is the president, and he as Rigathi is a deputy president. There is nothing like a co-presidency. In fact, William Ruto made him who he is today. If William Ruto could have not appointed him, if William Ruto could have not picked him as a deputy president, maybe we could be having a different deputy president today, not him. So this is not a co-presidency. Rigathi should and must know he is just a deputy president. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. And even before I conclude, Rigathi is also reluctant to resign because there is fatigue on the mountain. Every now and then, in the past about 20 or 15 years, they have always been voting out of emotions. They are just being incited against some people. They end up voting, but at the end of the day, the mountain people gets nothing from those elections. The mountain voted for Ruto thinking Ruto was going to kill Raila politically. Ruto has embraced Raila Odinga. Same to Uhuru Kenyatta embraced Raila Odinga. And the same script Uhuru and Ruto used on the mountain is the same script Rigathi is now using on the mountain. Politics of sympathy and whipping up emotions. Maybe the mountain is now asking itself, what are all these emotional votings helping us with? Rigathi might be alive to that fact that there might be fatigue on the mountain, constantly voting out of emotions that in the end backfire against them. If Rigathi becomes the president, maybe he'll be the first person to embrace Raila Odinga. All these might be causing some fatigue and confusion on the mountain. Let me stop it there. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Any person watching us outside Kenya, drop a comment, let us know from which part of the globe you are watching us from. If possible, subscribe, give the video a like. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.